Hey guys, today we're going to be doing my day one FB06 tier list here. Sorry that my room's dark, I'm a vampire. Um, and it's pretty late at night. I've just been playtesting since the set just came out on the client, so been grinding some games. But anyways, we are going to be starting here with red. This isn't really in any particular order amongst the colors. I just have them separated by color to make it a bit easier. But to explain the tiers that we have here, we have the S tier, which is going to be tourney winners. These more likely than not should win a tourney, and they are your best odds of uh, winning a regional or any big event. And then A tier is Will Top. These are decks just a little bit under the S tier decks. You can definitely still win a tourney with them. Your odds of topping are very high with them though. Um, and then B, we have Can Top. These decks probably won't win a regional, but they definitely are good enough to get into top 16. And then C, we have Rogue. These decks really shouldn't top. They can if you high roll or if you just see a good matchup spread. And then we have D tier, which is locals. You probably shouldn't bring this deck to a regional. I just don't see it performing well. Just keep it at locals. These are your fun decks. And then F tier are decks that desperately need help, and I see no point in playing them in the current meta. So we're going to start with U7 Goku here. I definitely think he's a rogue. He's just like a good little red aggro deck. Um, he does kind of fizzle out in the end game and just runs out of resources. But I guess there is the new Frieza, so you can run a more mid-range build and try to get value off that Frieza if it sticks. But he's just okay. Beerus. Beerus is tough. I think I'm gonna put him in B. Um, every set people downplay this guy, and then towards the end of the set he ends up being the most played red leader. Like every single set it's happened. It's actually silly. It's just like history repeats itself every single set. I don't think he's the best red deck, but his removal is very consistent, and he's probably like the best crit leader. Um, his crit actually helps him in some matchups, so he's not bad at all. And just like the 3-drop and the 5-drop play is just it's broken. So him having access to this makes him really good into a lot of decks. We have starter deck Goku. I've not tested this so too much. I've only played a couple games with the new Frieza. I kind of want to put him in Rogue, but I think I'm just gonna keep him in locals. That's because his leader ability doesn't get a whole lot of mileage on defense, because usually people are not swinging battle cards, they're just removing by effect. It is nice to be able to buff your Frieza, the 4-drop, and draw on defense and offense, but if they remove the Frieza before they even swing, why are you playing this deck? I'd just be playing U7 at that point, so that's why I have him in locals tier. Jiren, definitely throwing him in Will Top. This is a gatekeeper deck. This fights the two S tier decks, which honestly we're gonna skip to those. I mean, everyone knows what they are. It's Boo and Deadku. I think these two guys are in their own tier. I don't think anyone is in the tier with them. There are some decks that are very close, but their matchup spreads are just way better than the A tier decks. Some of these A tier decks either can only fight one of these two and like lose to some other decks in the tier list, which is probably why I have them at A. But Boo and Deadku have very few and far between bad matchups. There's definitely some decks that can tech and beat them, but usually if you can't tech and be able to beat both of them consistently. Jiren's one of those decks where I'd say he's about 50-50 into both of these decks, which is what makes him A tier. Um, but he does struggle into a lot of the other decks in this tier, and also some B tier decks. So I can't put him in the S tier with the big dogs. But he's probably the best red leader in the set, just to spoil. And we have starter Daima. Um, I'm gonna put him rogue. Like I kind of want to put him in can top because I definitely think he can. I just I'd just rather be playing like Jiren, or if I'm going a more control build, maybe Beerus. But he's like the best of both worlds. Maybe I do just throw him with Beerus. He's like good. He just didn't get anything this set. That's like the whole thing. Red really didn't get any pieces, and their matchups only got worse. I'm not gonna lie. Blue is a lot better into them, as if it wasn't already really good. They can't beat Broly. That's out of the question. If they play Broly, they just scoop. So, um, yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna put him C because I'm putting Daima 2 in B. The aggro version of this deck is very, very strong. I definitely think it's been under tested before the set dropped. The new Shin just really accelerates this deck. You're able to consistently kill on turn 5 or turn 6, depending on your build. Um, is is probably this and Jiren are probably the two best decks in the Broly. Just being able to aggro super quick, you have a chance to actually just kill the Broly before he can stabilize with his 9-drop. So he's probably one of the best aggro decks in the set for sure. He can just flood the board and get a lot of value and swing huge. So U7 Goku, I've not tested this deck this set, but it didn't get any cards. So I'd like to think it stays in the rogue tier. I think it won a regional, I think, last set. So you can definitely high roll with this. But I mean, it loses to anything that goes wide or is aggro. I mean, it loses the Boo, loses the Dead Coup, loses this Daimaku, loses to a lot of decks down here. So I just have to keep him at C. Top Coup, well, Strowman needs help. I mean, they just need to give us Kefla back. I think Kefla's not an issue anymore. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna keep it there. Android 18. Day one, I almost want to put her in F because she doesn't have the promo 17, and she kind of needs that card, or this deck just kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why you would play this leader. There's no benefit to playing this leader over any of these other guys without the promo. Once you get the promo, it's definitely locals, maybe rogue, but probably locals. Um, I guess I'll keep it locals just because we know the promo is coming. But for day one, I mean, I wouldn't run this deck. There's no chance. Goku Black, he's the king of rogue. I mean, he kind of gets worse. He's been getting worse as the sets have gone on because he hasn't got any pieces, and the meta is kind of getting stronger around him. So maybe I do want to put him. Actually, I'm putting him locals. Yeah, he was up here, but like the meta has just got so much stronger, and he can't really keep up. Trunks. He's just a blue deck. We'll throw him rogue. I mean, blue's probably the best color of the set by far. So I feel like just being a blue deck, you're just instantly like outside of Goku Black because he's very niche. You're just C or above as a blue deck for sure. Zamasu, gotta throw him an A. I mean, it's the de facto blue control deck. Maybe the best control deck in the game. I think there's another deck that's giving it a run for its money this set. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean he's always been up here. He's just always that brick wall that you can never kill. But he has like pretty good matchups into both the S tier decks, so it definitely helps. I definitely think you can win a regional with this deck for sure if you just see the right matchups. It is going to be a bit harder for this deck to perform well with Broly in the meta now. I just don't think it can. I mean, it can beat Broly. You just got to play a good resource game and see your absolute lightnings. So, and then we got Kid Goku. I'm torn on this leader. The aggro build with cross-arm dive and Jackie Chun and just spamming that every turn into your double striker is really strong. I just don't know how good it's gonna be with all the removal that we have. Um, I'll throw him in can top. I definitely think people just have to figure out this deck a little bit more, and it will pop off. Blue Vegeta. I mean, I'm just gonna throw him in C. I mean, he's fine, but like, there's just better blue leaders to play. Like Vegito. I'm gonna throw Vegito in can top. Um, he got access to the secret rare, so you don't even have to do the CU Goku Vegeta package anymore. You can quite literally just run the secret rare with Savior of the World or Final Hope Slash, and just get your kill shot done that way. So he got a little bit better. I think he's just like a good like gatekeepy deck. It just keeps some other decks in check. Um, has a really good Boo matchup actually. If you have the 4-drop, it just locks all the 3-drops, and Boo is forced to play their secret rare 4-drops and hopefully Poke the 2 so that they can double strike in this hand rip you all game. But they can't really do much once you get that 4-drop down. So Gohan, I mean, this is like the F tier deck. Um, they they flopped at this later and then redeemed themselves with this one. Uh, all right, my favorite deck of the set. It's between this and Broly, but I really want to put this in S, but I just don't think I can. I think low key this deck has struggles into both of the S tier decks, but I think it beats every single deck below it. Or is at least 50-50. This deck is incredibly strong. It is what blue should be. It is like a good control deck that has really good removal on curve every single turn, but you do get to draw a crap ton of cards, and you don't have a hand requirement for most of the cards in your deck. So you're able to actually play the blue game plan, but have like, I mean, I have like 10 to 18 cards in my hand, like consistently. It just depends how many 5-drops you see, really, but I, you draw so much cards with this deck. This deck is actually crazy. Um, Androids, I mean, we'll just, yeah, throw it an A. Definitely probably the best green deck. It's tied with Broly. I'll just throw them up there with them, and I'll talk about Broly after. They're about tied. I would not be surprised if Androids comes out the best green deck towards the end of the set, because everyone and their mother is teching for this Broly deck. So like, there's gonna be a point to where you don't get a whole lot of. There's not a whole lot of reason to play him because everyone's just teched for you, but they're not teched for androids. So maybe only like the aggro decks have a good matchup in this. But with them getting access to the 9 cost, they can take out the cell now and won't have to deramp themselves. So they can sit at have a fat energy line and start just dropping 9 drops every turn, and then hold up energy for extras. So I feel like this deck is it's very hard to kill this deck once they stabilize. Um, Green Gohan, I'll throw him Rogue. I mean, the 5-drop he got's cute. It's actually pretty good. Um, you're able to actually play a like low energy version of this deck now, where you're not even playing 8-drops. You're kind of just hovering around the 5 to 6 area, and you're just popping your leader skill every turn on defense. Um, and all you're doing is just throwing down 5-drops that cheat out the 7-drop, or you can play charge up to 6 and play out your 6-drop, your 6 drops. But um, that's like a fun build for sure. Definitely more low to the ground, utilizes the Goku SCR double striker and whatnot. I think it could definitely take people by surprise and get high in some tourneys. Then we got Green Goku. I'll throw it in can top. I mean, it's a good deck. It has some good matchups. It just really, man, it sucks into red. This deck is just like, you see a red deck and they're running Tamagami or like the 4-cost Jiren, you just like throw your hands up if you aren't running like Warm Greeting. Even then, Warm Green doesn't even feel good. You're just getting them closer to their 6-drop. So this deck's pretty good into the rest of the meta though, but Reds is really tough, so I can't really put it higher than B. We got Cell, throw this in Rogue. It topped, I think it topped 2 regionals last set, so this deck's definitely high rolly. I don't think it's bad though. It's just not consistent enough to like top a tourney. Like obviously it can maybe top if you like high roll or really good pilots on it. But we'll skip it there. Piccolo, yeah, we'll throw it an F. This deck needs help. I mean, they've actually given this deck a decent amount of support, but like none of it has been good enough. There's nothing that like makes you want to play this over androids. So they need to give this deck a card that incentivizes wanting to actually play it. And then we got starter deck Broly. This deck's I gotta put it in Rogue. I was thinking about Can Top because like this deck's good because you just get to you're kind of like this Broly, but you actually like ramp and you kind of just rip down to like 2-3 life and just start healing with your Brolys and you can get your secret rare Goku out once you're at 2 life. And you're a 25k leader, so it makes you a bit more sticky, a bit harder to kill ya. But I think this Broly's just better. Um, yeah. And then we got Green Vegeta. I'm probably just gonna keep him in locals tier. He's cool, but he loses to so many decks. So yeah, I just can't. He has like he's good against Boo. Sure, that's good, but like I don't see him beating like most of these decks up here. So put him in locals. Ginyu, locals. I mean, it's a really good aggro deck, but it is very one-dimensional, and if your opponent has any sort of removal, you kind of just lose because you have one game plan, one game plan only. We got Cooler. We'll throw him in locals too. I mean, he's cute, he's cool, but I mean, being a crit leader just really hurts him with the having to discard for the leader ability. He just runs out of resources really quick. Vegeta, slamming him up to A tier. This, oh man, if Boo gets banned or hit, this is the best yellow deck by far. This, I think it's better than Janemba, which we'll get to. Having results of training in this deck is actually just, it's absurdly broken. Um, it this deck is low key. I think it's better. It's like better than Zamasu. I mean, Zamasu's like card pool removal, like its control pieces are like a lot better. But Vegeta can just slam down 4-drop secret rares and then sit behind results of training to protect his face or protect the Friezas. And those Friezas will just remove board every single turn. You don't even really have to play anything else. You quite literally just throw down your secret rare Friezas and sit behind a wall of combo, and eventually you will grind your opponent out. This deck is really good. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I really think this could go very far in the tournament. And then we have Bobbity. This deck is actually really good, surprisingly. I don't know if I want to throw it in Can Top. I kind of want to throw in Rogue. Man, this is hard. I want to maybe throw it in top of Rogue. Because, like, this deck is just like it's another control yellow deck, I would say. I think Vegeta just does it better, though. But Bobbity having access to the field and in a Rinsu to every turn, as long as the Rinsu's on field, she can just rest the field card, draw a card, and rest something every single turn she's on board, which is really strong. Any yellow deck that's running fields is going to benefit a lot from the Arinsu. And Bobbity always has a field card on board. Goma, you pop it. So sometimes you don't have it for the Arinsu and whatnot. But yeah, I think this deck's really good. Maybe it can top. maybe we can throw it in B tier, but I just have to see some results from it or get some more play testing in. I do think this deck's really good though. Frieza, I'm throwing him in locals. I mean, there's so much better yellow decks to play, for sure. His leader ability is like generically good, but at the same time, like your bodies just get removed by effect anyway. Restanding them doesn't matter too much. Maybe if you're playing against Android 18, sure, it's good, but yeah. Janemba, I don't know if I want to put him in B or A. I think I gotta put him in A. He's just like a really, really good yellow deck. Has a really good Deadku matchup. Has a good Broly matchup. Um, can actually have a good Androids matchup if you play it correctly. Has a great Jiren matchup. So he is actually pretty good into most of the decks up here. Some decks he kind of just fizzles out of resources on. Um, and also just like sometimes he lacks the the like late game pressure he needs to close out a game. But he's pretty good. And yellow Vegeta. I think I'm just gonna throw him in Rogue. Um, he's like a cool aggro yellow deck. He's kind of just like the Walmart version of Boo, though. So I don't know why you'd play him over Boo. Boo's card pool and deck is just a lot stronger than Vegeta's at the time. I will say if Boo gets hit, Vegeta will probably um, see a lot more play. He will probably, yeah, he'll probably be the best yellow aggro deck for sure. I don't think Ginyu's gonna pop up out of nowhere and be better, but yeah, he's pretty good. But like I said, I'd just rather play Boo than him, so I have him low. Goma, I'm definitely gonna throw him in can top. This deck is actually really good. It's just very, very hard to pilot. You have to basically see your curve, and if you don't, you just fizzle out and lose. But if you're able to see your curve and get your field out, like turn one, and then maybe get like an Arinsu out or some cantrips, whatever, get some value before you get your Goma out, and you just keep playing a Goma every single turn, um, you kind of snowball your opponent. And if, God forbid, if they can't remove the first Goma and you play a second one, you kind of run away with the game. So this deck is actually really good. And it's surprisingly, for him not drawing on Leader Swing, it stays high on resources very well with the Planet Omega field. So I like this deck a lot. And we got Gogeta. I think Gogeta, I'm going to throw him in Will Top. He has some really, really, really good matchups and some pretty bad matchups. Basically, it's going to be the theme for all of Black. They're kind of suck in the blue, which is probably going to be the most played color and best color of the set. But I mean, Gogeta absolutely farms Broly. If your locals is full of Broly players, just play Gogeta. Throw in Ultimate Sparking, throw in Para Para, um, and you just Ultimate Sparking their Broly Leader Swing every time they play out an 8 or a 9 drop. It can't attack. So, and then you just Para Para it until you get to your 6 drop Gogeta and just start slamming those down. So, yeah. Um, I think I gotta have it in A. I mean, it's just like it's black. Like black's just so generically good. It can win against any color. It does struggle against blue, but other colors, I think it does great into. So, and then we got DKP. I'm gonna throw him. Like I want to throw him in Rogue. I think I gotta throw him in locals though. This deck just runs out of resources way too quick. Like no cards in the deck draw and replace themselves, which is a big issue. I'm sure you're cheating out guys left and right, and your board gets really wide really quick. But then you're sitting there with like 5 cards in hand. So is it really worth it? Not really. Bardock. I'll throw him in Rogue, like can top or maybe top. I mean he's just like a generically good black deck. But I would just rather play some other black decks that are above him. Like the 25k in Scry is cool, but you get a lot more mileage from Gogeta and Baby's leader ability. So I just don't see why you play him unless you're just like a fan of him, or you like running the new legend package, which is cool. But GT, I'm gonna throw him in locals. Actually, maybe I throw him in rogue. 'Cause like he is still just like he's just a black deck, and at the end of the day, black decks are just good. They just all are damn near the same deck list, just with some spice thrown left and right. But his leader ability is definitely probably the worst out of all the black leaders. But I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, this being a black deck. And then Baby, I gotta throw him with Gogeta. I'm not too sure which one's better. I think Baby has a better overall matchup spread into the bulk of the meta, just being able to out-resource opponents a lot better than Gogeta. But Gogeta does have, like, just the most free Broly experience of all time. So I guess it just depends what your locals look like. But yeah, that is my tier list. Feel free to flame me in the comments, because I'm sure there will be someone to flame me, because my opinion may be different than yours, and that's okay. But this is my day one predictions of what a tier list might look like for the set. Feel free to let me know what you think about some of these decks. If there's any sleeper decks that I might have turned a blind eye to, let me know.